and welcome back to my playthrough of Dawn of the Zeds in the 3rd edition. To be honest, I have no idea how good I'm doing because I'm really not experienced in this game. Pretty sure I'm not doing that well, but yeah, I still will play it until I die. And I think one major mistake I have made strategically was to send Mr. Johnson here on the highway track. He's our scavenger, and the only resource we have in this basic game is ammunition, and unfortunately the best location to get new ammunition is in a mine, and the lucky strike mine is here in the mountain track, so you really need to spend a lot of actions in order to move back up there, and we really need ammunition. That's pretty much obvious. So thanks for once making me aware. I think I got 2 comments that told me send Mr. Johnson to a mine in order to get some ammunition, because if we are lucky enough to roll a 6 for his scavenging roll, we would get 2 ammunition. If we would get even more lucky, we would roll double 6s, then we would gain 4 ammunition. Of course, I will not build a foundation on this assumption for my strategy, but I'm really sure I should move Mr. Johnson away from the nuclear plant here. Before I continue with my actual playthrough here, I want to make you aware that you still have a couple of hours left in order to join my contest on Board Game Geek, where you can actually win a game or 2, and also I think there's one promo card waiting for you. I will put a link to the description of this video, of course, and I think let's get started. And here is our event card. It really sucks because we only get 1 activation and we really want to move Mr. Johnson away. Wow, this is really crap. And of course we will have to first activate the zombies here, so we can skip this one in the basic rules, but we have to place a new Zeds unit on the mountain units track start space. And yeah, we were kind of lucky that Deputy Schmidt was able to get rid of some of those fellas, but of course we already drew a new one voluntarily basically. So let's see, let's add another one. Okay, that's a 5. So we have a strength of 11 moving towards Farmingdale from the mountain track. Of course, we still have to activate them. Luckily, we only have to activate them once, so that is kind of good news. So let's do that. They will move as a mob, of course. And that was pretty much the end of the activation. Defending units receive no terrain shift this phase. I think this is also okay because we are not getting attacked this time. This is awesome. So we can directly jump into our action phase. But as I mentioned, we only get 1 event action this turn. I think we will start with Sheriff Hunt. He will use his leadership token to spend it in order to give those veterans here a firing or a gunfire command, because the first time they are activating in a round with a gunfire, they don't need to spend any ammunition. It's not really, it's a long shot, that's for sure. That's only a 2, so we really have to roll high in order to do any damage here, but still I want to leverage those guys. So let's see, and we really have to roll high. I think that's at least an 8 or a 9. Yeah, that's the case. We don't have to spend the ammunition. Let's see, that's a 9. Okay, this means they pretty much inflicted 1 wound. Okay, that's better than nothing. And let's see, this is a 1 on the backside, and this is a 3. Guess who gets the wound in this round? Yeah, but still it's not enough to flip them. We have to hurt them 2 more times. That's tough, but yeah, I think I cannot help it. This was pretty much the action of Sheriff Hunt. Next, I'm thinking of activating Deputy Schmidt with his initiative token. Not sure if that's a good idea, but I really want to move him here to this space in order to defeat those guys. For once, he gets right shift because of his Eagle Scout ability, so in all hand-to-hand combat. He gets a reroll, that's a good thing. He already has a 4. So in this case, he would be coming close to that. And I'm really thinking of using the Killdozer as well. Not sure if I'm wasting this now. Maybe this is really a totally bad idea what I'm doing here. But I really want to get rid, and then I can start moving this guy off or something like that. This is at least the idea I'm having. And again, I might be completely wrong. in this case, but I will do it anyway. So let's spend this token here. He will move 1, 2, 3 spaces here. Play this card when a play unit begins a hand-to-hand attack. This is what we're doing. So we get a right shift twice basically against those guys. So let's do the math. First of all, they are in an advantage. So we would look at this because they have a 6, I have a 4. He gets the right shift basically right out of his pocket, and then he gets 2 times the right shift because of the killdozer we are using here. Let me place it next to this table. So we would ending up here. So it is overall cool, and we still get a reroll. So overall we do have a relatively good chance to get rid of those guys. So let's roll our 2 dice. That's an 8. And 8 means the zombies get 3 damage and we are getting 0 damage. This is perfect. I will not re-roll this roll. So with the first 2 hits, that's pretty much, we'll flip them to the other side. They're getting 1 more, and guess what? This is a 4. I really should have checked that before, but they will retreat, that's for sure. And this is kind of bad news for Deputy Schmidt, because he's also in a location where he doesn't get an additional right shift or terrain shift here. But yeah, I told you this was a long shot and this was a stupid idea, it seems. But yeah, I decided to do it like that, and I spent his token. I could really think of moving him back now to the nuclear plant. Maybe this is what... Yeah, I think this is what I have to do. That's for sure. So let's spend our player action to move this guy here to the nuclear plant. This way he gets an additional terrain shift, or he gets a terrain shift, which really could help him, because next time the highway track will activate, those guys will move towards him, and then he really doesn't stand a chance. And if he gets 2 wounds, he will be basically out of the game unless we are really lucky with our saving roll. We still have 1 more event action left. And I think I will use those in order to move Mr. Johnson back to the lucky strike mine. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. He's back here at the town center, which is okay. Unfortunately, he's not able to reach the lucky strike mine with 1 additional action, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement points here. This is really tough, but yeah, we have to live with that. And this pretty much concludes our round. So let's flip all the tokens back, and then we draw our next event card. And you really gotta be kidding me. Wow, this is tough. This is so-called special event. This means this is basically the end of Act 2. Yeah, it should be, I think, when I did the math right. But okay, all zombies will activate, that's for sure. But at the beginning of this phase, place a new Zeds unit on the start space of every track. Of course, we have to apply the stacking lever, and we have to remove all hit markers from those Zeds units. Wow, this is really, really tough. Let's start placing new zombies, starting here on the suburbs track. Of course, it's a 9. Then on the forest track, what do we get here? That's a 7. And sometimes I'm really looking for those I don't think so cards from Flying Frog games, especially in Last Night on Earth. This could be a great help now. And we see one on the mountain track, and those defined guys, yeah, I think they're pretty much toast. Okay, that's only a 2. That's much better. And last but not least, we see another zombie unit here on the highway track. But we are not done yet. We still have to remove all hit markers, and especially down there, this really sucks. That's for sure. And the same is true for up there, because yeah, maybe I should really have moved some of those guys off. This was really a very weak decision. I should not have kept those guys there, not with a zombie force of 10 showing up. Not sure what I was really hoping for, but I think yeah, this wall will crumble anytime soon, that's for sure. They will still activate now, so I think why not start directly with those guys up there. So we always start with the nearest spot close to the town center. So we will move those guys here, and I think I will have those guys defend as well, because they will force the zombies to retreat always. But of course they will be pretty much dead, or at least sent to the town center if I'm rolling lucky enough. So let's see. Let's hope for something good. This was definitely not something good. So zombies are there. I think they get a right shift, so we would go here because they're defending St. Thomas, and it does not say no. We can still apply terrain shift, so we go up here, but still a 5 is completely devastating. So those guys would have to retreat, but they tell us they will never retreat, and I think this still applies because retreating rules still apply here. At least this is how I would more or less read the rules, but of course they will be pretty much dead. We still get our saving roll, so let's hope we roll higher than a 3. Basically, no, that's not higher than a 3. Those guys are dead, and yeah, we'll be sent to the cemetery down there. Of course, we still have to activate the second unit here on the forest track. Then clockwise we will continue here with the mountain track, so they will move towards Lefty Pass. So they are defined, they are no longer defined right now. They get still the terrain shift from Lefty's Pass here. Still, they are 3 times stronger than our poor civilians. So they would start off in this column, but we get our right shift, so we would be here. So if we are really lucky and roll whatever, a 10 or higher, we would at least get some results. So let's hope for the best. That's a 7. That's pretty sure not good enough. No, a 7 means we get 3 wounds. So 1, 2, we'll flip them, and the 3rd wound, at least they're not dead yet, but they have to retreat to the lucky strike mine. So they have taken over Lefty's Pass without any damage so far. And we still see this small little unit moving up the mountain track here as well. Here we simply have to move those guys ahead, and now I'm really happy I moved Deputy Schmidt back to the nuclear plant. Those guys will also move closer to Farmingdale. Then we see those zombies approaching. This is really unfortunate. They lost all their hit markers because they would be able to at least get rid of them. So what they're no longer defined, but they still get their right shift, which means they are now even or equal to the zombie strike. So they have a slight advantage right now, but because of the right shift they are now equal to, so at least they can possibly do some damage on those guys. But if you have seen some of my former playthroughs, you know how poorly I roll usually. So let's see, that's an 8. Okay, 8 is at least something, I guess. So we are in the equal column. 8 means, oh, they lost the fight. So they take 2 wounds and I only take 1 wound, which is pretty cool. So they take wound, they have to retreat, so they lost the fight, and we only get 1 wound, which means we are still on our healthy side here. That's kind of okay, I guess. So let's activate the remaining Zeds units here on the suburbs track, and I'm really scared seeing those guys approaching. Not sure what I will do against those. And guess what? There's still even more bad news, as we only get 1 event action from this dreadful card here. But okay, let's see how well we can do with our actions. We still have some of our tokens left anyway. First things first, they are no longer defined. So I will spend the leadership token of Sheriff Hunt in order to move those guys back here to the farm. So I really want to have them out of the danger zone here. That's really important. I really want to save some of my civilians. Next, I think I want to move Deputy Schmidt back closer to Farmingdale. So let's spend his initiative token to move him 1, 2, 3 spaces here to downtown. There he would get a terrain shift of 2. That's, I think, something, because he gets an automatic right shift anyway because of his martial arts training. So I think this is a good place for him to be. Not sure if this is a good idea, but I think I will spend our event action to move Mr. Johnson 1, 2, 3 spaces here to the campground. In any named location or named space he would be able to find some ammunition if he rolls a 6. And this way we bring him closer to the lucky strike mine up there. And I think I will then immediately spend our player action in order to have him search there. And because he's a scavenger, he's allowed to roll 2 dice instead of only 1. Wow, that's really a weak result. This totally sucks. Yeah, I cannot help it, and I'm continuing my streak of bad rolls, that's for sure. And I guess this was already, yeah, these were all of our actions already. This was really a painful card, but luckily we can get rid of it now. I guess I will do one more round, so let's draw our next event card. And I guess I counted wrong. We are still in Act 2. As you can see, there are 2 stars. So we have the Forest Knight Assault at the beginning of this phase. Place a new sets unit on the forest track. Starts with, and again, we don't get any terrain shift this phase. This really sucks. So let's first place a new set unit on the forest track. That's only a 4. That's okay, I guess. And then they will all march towards farming there, but at least we don't see another hand-to-hand combat. And I'm really happy that I moved those guys away from St. Thomas. Yeah, that's the case. This time we get 2 event actions. That's at least something we can work with. And I guess I will use one of those event actions right away to move Mr. Johnson here to the lucky strike mine. And then I guess I will spend the next event action to have him search here in the lucky strike mine. So we are looking at least for a 5 in order to get some ammunition back. That's 1 5. That's at least something, because it means we just found 1 piece of ammunition. So I guess, yeah, let's spend our player action here. Yeah, I think we will do that, and we will spend 1 ammunition to have him shoot towards Lefty's pass here. Remember, he's using heavy weapons, so he gets a right shift, which brings him to 5, which is, I think, not too bad. So let's do that. Let's roll 2 dice and hope for a high result. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I really hate that. Okay, that's only a 3, which means he totally blew it. Wow, a 5 would be at least something and would have inflicted a wound. This was really crap. I guess Sheriff Hunt is the hero of the day, so he will again tell those guys to move closer to the town center, because here in the mall district they get a terrain shift or right shift of 2, which is, I guess, something, because they are still using, I keep forgetting, well-armed ability here. So they would normally move 2 spaces, 1, 2 spaces. So let's do it like that. He's pretty okay here because he's also has a martial art, so he can reroll. He gets a right shift. I think overall that's not bad for him, so he might be able to survive an attack here. As Deputy Schmidt is here in a named space, I think I will spend his initiative token to just forage. Let's see, we need 6 basically, everything else is gone. Wow, we are lucky, for once we are lucky, which means we just found 1 piece of ammo. This is at least something and can really help us using Captain Piazza a little bit more now, so she can really shoot pretty well, but the same is also true for Mr. Johnson, hoping not to get overrun by those zombie units up there. As I thought this would have been Act 3 already, I think I will do 1 final round. So let's draw our next event card. And this time this seems to be a pretty cool one. A hero arise. At the beginning of this, our player action phase, we can place a new random available hero unit in either the town center or any start space. This is okay. Unfortunately, we still have to activate 3 tracks in total. So let's start by activating the highway track first. So those guys move towards the nuclear plant. They move into Ingeborg. Then it's the suburbs track. So they move closer to Beauville. This time we are still allowed to use our terrain shift. So they are equal. Yeah, that's the case. So let's roll our dice. That's only a 5. You really gotta be kidding me. Yeah, and 5 means we are taking 2 hits, we have to retreat, and the zombies get 1 hit. Okay, that's at least something, as this means this zombie unit is down. We still have to assign 2 hits, so the first hit will flip it, and the second hit will be placed here, and we still have to retreat back to the second street. And then those guys will also move closer to Farmingdale. Yeah, and then we see some action here on the forest track, and those guys will move towards the farm, so we will see some damage there. Basically have twice the strength of Sheriff Hunt. Yeah, but because on the terrain shift they will move towards the advantage, and I'm getting a reroll. I really have to roll high now, as I really want to lose poor Mr. Hunt there. Okay, let's do our first roll. That's a 2. I will totally reroll that. I cannot believe it. What is wrong with those dice? That's an 11. Awesome. So let's check the advantage table here. An 11 means the zombies takes 2 points of damage, we get 1 point of damage, and they have to retreat. So let's see, where was the one? Yeah, this one. So this unit totally gets 2 points of damage. They have to move back here to St. Thomas. Fortunately, he can only take 1 wound, so we have to immediately flip him to the other side. Then they will move here. They will always leave the weaker unit behind, so this zombie mod just got stronger, and this unit will move up here, forming another mob with a strength worth of 9. Wow, this was really tough, but those were all the activations for the zombies. And before we move into the actions phase, we see our new hero, Mayor Hernandez. We are allowed to place him either in the town center or on any start space. But I think I will play it conservatively and place the mayor here in the town center. Let's have a look at his special abilities. For once, he has the keys to the city. Of course, he's the mayor after all. He's allowed to add 1 die to all forage die rolls made in the town or town center space. It's pretty cool. He has a traffic control. Entering town center costs moving a unit 0 movement points. Also pretty cool. And he gets the citadel marker. Once per action phase, he may spend this action to give a town unit in town center a free gunfire attack. But still, we have to spend 1 ammo with a +1. And he has the motivational speech, which he can use once per game basically. And in this case, every other player unit in the town space that's important, inspired by it, immediately receives 1 free action. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool stuff. And because of the awesome news here that the new heroes showed up, we're also getting 2 event actions this round. With the first event action, we will do a forage actions here again on the Mount Lucky Strike mine with Mr. Johnson. He's allowed to roll 2 dice. That's a 5. A 5 is good because it gives us 1 extra ammunition. That's pretty cool. And I think let's use that ammunition to shoot towards those zombies 1 more time. I really want to try to keep that mine as long as we can. So let's roll his 2 dice. He gets again these 2 right shifts because of his, and again I'm rolling so weak. I hate that. So that's a 5. We are here. That's a 4. Yeah, we are inflicting 1 wound. So let's see, I think this goes to a 4, this goes to a 3. It's basic, doesn't really matter, so I think let's go with a stronger one. That's 1 hit on this. Really doesn't matter because yeah, they're not flipped anyway. I will spend the player action of Captain Piazza here to shoot towards those guys here at the nuclear power plant. Therefore, I have to spend 1 of our valuable ammunition. But because she's shooting at a range of 2, gives her a strength of 4, which is okay. Let's see. That's a 10. That's not too bad, I guess. because this means a 10. Yeah, that's 3 points worth of damage. Awesome. Which is enough to kill this unit or to flip this unit. No, this goes to a 4, so we will totally get rid of this zombie unit here. This was really nice shooting, Captain Piazza. Good job. And I guess I just did a terrible mistake. I should have moved this guy out with one of the actions. Oh man, this was really a bad mistake. So if the forest track will activate next round, then wow, he will really have a hard time. This was really a major error. So we cannot use the leadership ability because there's no unit adjacent to him. Also not really good thinking. I should have moved those guys here, then he would still be able to control them. You see, I still learn this game, but at least we will be able to use the initiative mark, and because Mayor Hernandez is now with us, we get a +1 here when searching on town center spaces, or town spaces. So let's roll 1 die. So a 5 would be enough now. Let's see. No, that's only 1. We will continue with my poor die rolling here. Totally sucks. So these were basically all the actions we were able to take. And I guess I will stop my playthrough for today. At least we made it into Act 3. So we still have a lot of cards ahead of us in order to survive this scenario. And yeah, not sure how well I'm doing, and I'm pretty sure that we will get rid of Mr. Hunt here relatively soon. Maybe if we are lucky and the forest trick will not get activated next round, then I will totally move him back here closer to Farming Dale. Okay, I really hope you are still enjoying my little playthrough of Dawn of the Zeds here. Please bear with me, I'm learning this game, so I'm really doing really poor decisions in respect to my strategy, and I really hope I continue not making too many rule mistakes at least. Again, keep sending me your comments, it's really appreciated, as it really helps me to learn this game. Check out my contest on The Geek, and yeah, hope to see you soon, and until then, bye bye.